It is my great pleasure to introduce our moderator for this session, Dr. Youngjun Choi of Yonsei University. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Choi. Dr. Choi.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'm Youngjun Choi from Yonsei University. This is quite an intensive day, but I learned quite a lot from all of your presentations. Some commonalities across different countries, but also very important differences also across the different countries. Also, some of you also mentioned the older people are not only a homogeneous group, it's also quite a heterogeneous group. And you also mentioned about the different challenges and still a lot of social risk older people face. But also older people are fully capable of contributing to the society and very active. So we need to take into consideration a lot of factors in order to go forward. So I'd like to thank you so much about your contribution and also some of the quite interesting information as well. We learned from Eva's presentation, Indonesia have 17,000 islands. 13,000. 17. Who's correct? Indonesia. Okay, I have a lifetime goal now. I want to visit at least 0.1% of Indonesian island. It could be about 17 islands in Indonesia. I'm not sure whether I can do that, but it would be quite interesting. Okay, so the final session, not because I'm moderating the final session, I think it's also because we are also, on the one hand, we are wrapping up today's intensive sessions. At the same time, we want to draw some the recommendations and activities we want to do further, how to collaborate together. So I think the final session would be quite important. So let me kick off by introducing our panels. Our panels are here and there. Do we have a slide for the name of our panel members and affiliations? No. Okay, it's fine. We have a delegate from Cambodia. Could you raise your hand? And could you give a big hand? We have 5 countries, and we have also delegate from Indonesia. Raise your hands. Okay. And we also have a delegate from Malaysia. Yes. There, yeah. And we have a delegate from Philippines. Yes. Thank you so much. Last but not least, from Thailand. Here, yes. Thank you very much. So this session, basically, you have the 3 questions. Could you show the 3 questions? No? Okay, it's fine. Yes, I think the Professor Park Young-lan just the previous session introduced the 3 questions. So we have 3 very important questions we want to discuss during this session. The first question is, what contribution have the National Human Rights Institute or Commission and CSO civil service organization made to various HROP issues in the past 5 years? So focusing on the contribution. And the second, what are the human rights of older persons issues that each organizations should address in the future, or each country should address in the future, focusing on challenge. And the final question, what are the areas in which international exchange and cooperation with the global community are needed to address the aforementioned issues? So you working hard in your country, we have discussed a lot of the progress each country made. I think it is not possible without your efforts. But then in future, we want to collaborate together, moving from the red area in 헬프에이지 international ranking to the green area. So how we can collaborate together? Yes. Okay, we can move together. So basically, we'll give you the 25 minutes to each country delegates. So you discuss these 3 questions together, and also I'm sure AGSE provide a laptop to each country delegate, so you can summarize the main finding, main answer for the 3 questions. I'll give you about 20 to 25 minutes. So after 25 minutes, we come back together, and each representative from each country will present the summary of your findings about these 3 questions. Then we'll have some Q&A and final discussion, and then we'll really wrap up the 4th session and also whole workshop together. So without further ado, let's directly move to the 25-minute the discussion within. Yes, please. Yes, yes, each country. Yes, let's do that because. Yeah, that's true. Because some of you from the Human Rights Commission and the other person also from the Civic Service Organization. So I think the second question. So each country should address in the future, okay? Yeah. So shall we start? And we have some Korean participants. You can either enjoy your time, or if you go outside, then there's an experience booths and education material, and also AJSC publications, so you can enjoy all other things in outside or inside. Then time is now 4:30, so we'll come back 4:50, okay? 4:50. I will remind you of the timing, okay? Let's start.
지금 참석하고 있지 않으신 분들은 짧은 휴식 가지셔도
Those of you who are not in the group work, you may take your own personal short break. We have some food and beverages available outside. There's also an experience booth and also publications for your reference from our center. Thank you.
The time is up. Can I invite the presenter come up here and the table? Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, we have from Cambodia, Mr. Viratum is a presenter. From Indonesia, we have a Miss Eva Anjab Sabdono. And from Malaysia, Miss Binti Shah Sulaiman Elja Nadia. And from Philippines, Mr. Beda A. Apris. From Thailand, Miss Chaipon Takakian, please. I've never seen this organized forum. People just meet the time and prepare with disciplines and then come up on the right one time. So things going pretty well, even though you must be all very tired. But thank you so much again. All right, so I'll give you about 5 minutes, but you don't have to spend all 5 minutes, but you can finish 3 or 4 minutes, it's welcome. So within 5 minutes, please give the answers of these 3 questions, please. Mr. Veratum.
Yes, good afternoon again. Okay. Yeah, so I require we have prepared some recommendation on the 3 questions. So firstly, with what we have contributed, what we have been working together between CSO and NHRI in to address the very issue of older people. As you can see, that firstly we have make an engagement between older people and as a rights holder and the Cambodia Human Rights Center as duty bearer to know together, so they understand, they have opportunity to raise awareness, understanding the role of CHRC, and also they know where, when they have a problem, they can present through that. And also we have contributed to organize training on human rights so that older people can understand more about their right issue, and also they are able to reflect to the need that they have. I will show you next what are the right issues that have been raised by them. Thirdly is we contribute to make a dialogue and join the action at country level, especially promoting the rights of older people during the Human Rights Day. It happened in December 2022. And with the challenge that we are going to have older people in addressing in the future, near future, actually we have our own agenda, we have our own program and activity. But in here, we are talking about the right base. So this is purely taken from the National Older People Forum that we have supported older people to organize. It's three years already that we developed this. So the first issue that have been raised and called by older people, firstly is old age allowance. That is to say the universal pension for older people as first priority. So we will have them to how they can assess this. Secondly is assess free health care and also free social service. Third, senior citizen card. This is more on identification process, which some countries already have, but we do not have, and the older people also need this. And fourth is access to income opportunity and livelihood support. And healthcare here is more the home care. I mean, at the community level, government should have. I think this is what they call on provide care services at community for them, and then support their older OPA, I mean, in terms of funding or technical support, especially through their local authority. And the last one, and it's also important, is about the law to protect and promote older people welfare. So we have put this in the list also for Cambodia with Ministry of Social Affairs and also CHRC. And the last one, in terms of collaboration and recommendation for this forum, we think that exchange and sharing experience to further rely older people rights and challenges from different countries is very crucial, so that we can learn from learn and share different issues, and then we can then perhaps working together to do research to find evidence, and also setting a priority, identify the policy and program need or gaps. A third could be a regional and global campaign, working together or join together, as we can see, like the Global Age for Index, perhaps the ASEAN Day of Older People, we do together, just for example. And the fourth is a possibility of project design or implementation. For example, as the digital technology is very important for older people to not just access information, but the other services. Perhaps it is about promote their right to access information through digital technology. And third, the project perhaps is around the ageism and intergeneration. So for the current older people, to avoid the age discrimination, to eliminate the discrimination, but with the younger people to understand that and prepare for them old age in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's listen to the recommendation from Indonesia.
Yeah. Okay, recommendations from Indonesia, contributions from Komnas HAM, the National Convention on Human Rights, contribution, receiving complaints from individual or groups on cases concerning the situation of elderly persons, retirees' family entitlement to government housings, making elderly persons visible in the work of Komnas HAM, monitoring and case management, conducting monitoring and mediation on cases concerning elderly persons. Contributions from CSO, empowering the elderly to conduct self-care and more meaningful lives. For instance, sponsor a grandparent program, home care program, lifelong learning school for older persons. 2, networking with related stakeholders, government institutions, private sectors, and academia. Carrying out policy advocacy to the government policymakers regarding elderly issues, raising awareness among the public regarding elderly issues, training, capacity building, emergency and national disaster response focusing on the vulnerability of older persons. Challenges, strengthening and mainstreaming awareness on human rights of the elderly persons in laws, regulations, and government policies. To ensure participation of older persons in developing policy and programs concerning their lives. Nothing about us without us. An integral and comprehensive approach is needed. Multi-sectors approach is needed to protect the rights of elderly persons, health, housing, social security, public facilities, etc. Fulfillment and protection of the rights of elderly persons require progressive realization. Provide pension scheme for all older persons. Recommendations from Indonesia, cooperation with global community to consider the diversity of local contexts, social, culture, economy, and geography. Support for Indonesia integrated community-based long-term care system for the older persons. The stress is on integrated community-based long-term care system. Capacity building for policymakers, national human rights institutions, and CSOs. Enabling CSO to advocate to local governments regarding the rights of the elderly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Malaysia, please.
Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. Okay, this is a recommendation from Malaysia for contribution. SOACAM as an HRI continue to protecting and promotion on older person in organizing advocacy or awareness through forum, roundtable discussion, visit to older person. We started back in 2023, in 2024, and this year. NGO continue to provide evidence-based through research, address basic need in deliver food to the poor, including older person, During COVID-19, there is some NGO initiate to several activities. One of them is gardening and sell the vegetable to the public. On the digital divide, we know that the world and Malaysia also are going towards to the digital technology. So we are focusing on digital divide and access to technology on service needs and usage. For challenges, to understanding the holistic issue on older person, not just the aspect of the welfare, as we know that nowadays we are focusing on the welfare of the older person. That's why just now I heard that we need to change the needs to the basic, to the right base in any issue that we want to do for next action. Example, like standard of living, like healthcare, housing. Second one is laws, legal rights of older person. In Malaysia, example, we don't have specific laws on older person. Then next is a complaint mechanism, which is NGO, SWHAKAM and government. The issue on older person is just highlighted by media. I think that same in other country. So I believe that the complaint mechanism need to be strengthened up every nation. Next is adopt preventive healthcare, like healthy lifestyle, branded type of medicine. This is something new actually that come into my knowledge, because in Malaysia also there is a type of category to give to the patient a brand of medicine. I don't know what actually the issue there. And next is reduce silos working culture towards actively sharing information and resources or collaborating across stakeholders, which is we know that silo working culture is being culture to us. Believe it or not, that's become our culture. So we need to reduce at least in the next action that we want to do. So for the collaboration, sharing platform, including government, to raise knowledge on the importance of rights of older person, like ASEAN platform. Second is International Convention on Older Person. As we know that every country are working on that and support for that. And then number 3 is a minimal data set for aging for international comparison and harmonization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so recommendation from Philippines, please.
Yes, thank you. This one. Yeah. So the following are the recommendations from the Philippines. At the onset, I would like to inform the body that the Commission on Human Rights of the Philippines and civil society organizations have a very strong collaboration. And as a result of this very strong collaboration, through our joint effort, we were able to push legislations in promoting and upholding the human rights of older persons. The following are the laws passed because of this collaboration. First is the creation of the National Commission of Senior Citizen. Second, the law increasing the social pension benefits from 500 to 1,000 pesos, and the law on universal health care. During our preparation for international engagement, for example, in the open-ended working group for aging, we would always consult the CSOs for inputs. So whatever is submitted by the Commission on Human Rights of the Philippines during the 14th session are inputs coming from CSOs. So we are really bringing the voice of the CSOs in the open-ended working group on aging. Third is conduct awareness-raising activities on older persons' rights and privileges. It is the culture in the Philippines that when we talk to older persons and inform them of their rights, what they really wanted are something tangible, something that is immediately felt by them. So when we speak of rights, at times they are, should I say, pushing back because they really wanted immediate relief, say for hunger, and so because of that, of that mindset of some of our older persons, we are experiencing challenges. And these challenges is that first, majority of government programs are welfare-based rather than rights-based. They still look at older persons as, they would get satisfaction if you provide welfare or charity to them. Next challenge is lack of budget prioritization and proper implementation of existing laws, policies, and programs for older persons. Funds are usually, bigger funds are usually given to children and the youth. And, older persons do not receive that same amount of budget. And third, the appointment of officers of senior citizens affairs or heads in cities and municipalities are politicized. In the Philippines, each cities and municipalities have the Office of Senior Citizens Affairs. They are supposed to be on the lookout of and protect the welfare of the senior citizens in their respective localities. However, because of politics, it's the politician who would appoint them. So the heads of the OSCA are no longer after the welfare of the older persons, but rather the welfare of the persons who appointed them. On cooperations, specifically international cooperations, we recommend that there would be a continuation of sharing of good or best practices between and among countries for replication. And that is true between and among NHRIs and CSOs, specifically those advocating for the human rights of older persons. Next is to strengthen the collaboration of NHRIs and CSOs to take more active and visible role in advocating for the drafting of the Convention on the Human Rights of Older Persons through awareness raising and capacity and development. I think it's necessary for NHRIs to be involved and to collaborate among each other, especially those in the Asian and Pacific region. I would just like to share that during the 13th session, I think there were only 5 national human rights institutions present advocating in UN New York. But last year, this May, during the 14th session, we were surprised. I think there were already 18 NHRIs. So imagine if all national human rights institutions in the entire, in the whole world would be present and advocate for drafting of a convention, then the more that we are, then the stronger our voice would be during these activities. Next is to promote intergenerational solidarity. I was very much touched of what Ma'am Eva said a while ago. The young generations of today will be the older persons of tomorrow. So we have to, involve them and in all of the activities about older persons. They have to be. We really need to prepare them because they will be the future older persons. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Beda A. Pris. So finally, Ms. Chayapon Takakian about recommendation from Thailand.
Okay. So for Thailand, the first question, the National Human Rights Commission of Thailand provides the opportunity for the NGO or CSO to register to be the human rights organization since 2022, and there are 28 organizations registered in each area, such as children, women, person with disability, and older person. But only one organization, only one NGO registered at the organization on older person, which is the FOP-DEF organization of Mr. Swang. And for the second question, challenges, the collaboration between the National Human Rights Commission of Thailand, the Department of Older Person, that we are in charge of the overall older person affair, and the NGO. And we should encourage the registration among the CSO and NGO to be the human rights organization on older person. And the second one is the developing of convention on the human right of older person. I think this one that we had been do it for the long time, but it's not happened yet. But we think that it's eventually happen. And then the third challenge is society for all. We know that aging society is not only for older person, but for all age. And so we should encourage the intergeneration. And then I think the next challenges is that to ensure the financial security for better quality of life in old age. Even though you cannot work anymore, but older person should have the financial security. And that is when the community-based approach will come into care for the older person who don't have financial security or cannot work anymore. And the last question for the cooperation, we think we should propose the AGAX as a center for cooperation to hold the forum around the region, so we can continue to share the best practice and discuss way forward together in the regional. And then we should support the Convention on the Human Rights of Older Persons. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So there are a lot of important contributions, but at the same time, also a lot of important challenges we have to tackle and address in future. That's why we have to collaborate and cooperate together to address all these important issues. I mean, the introducing, proper pensions or healthcare, social care, or the improving the capacity building, I think nothing is easy. Yeah, so I think we have to discuss much more about all these issues together. But at the same time, also there's some collaboration areas. I remember some of the points you mentioned about the best practice. I think that's what OECD and international organization is doing. But I don't think in Asian society we don't have that kind of a strong Asian kind of international organizations kind of a building, picking up the best practice and try to spread around the different countries. So AGSC and also the future collaboration, probably we can find the best practice and try to spread around and discuss how we can transfer that idea into my own context. I think that also could be a quite important area of the collaboration. And also the evidence, I think is also quite important. Comparable, so what's the situation of older people now in my country? Do we have evidence? And can my evidence is comparable to Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, or Indonesia? I think this is quite important questions. This is my first question to this representatives. Do you have a national household survey or national individual survey? We can see the status of older people. Do you produce, and if produced, then is it annually produced or biannually? So could you give some comments about this?
Indonesia has it every year, but it's done by the Demographic Institution of the University of Indonesia. We have it.
So is it open? Other people outside, they can access that data as well?
I think so.
Okay.
It's for public information, right?
That's good. Okay.
Yes, okay, for Thailand, we have National situation on older person that we did every year. Every year annually. So it's public. So any person can access to the information, and we have it in Thai and in English. Yes. Okay.
In the Philippines, we also have such study, and it is being undertaken by the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs in each cities and municipalities. It's good that there's a new office that is created. We call it the National Commission for Senior Citizen. Their role is actually to gather all of this information and just to provide one national information. And the NCSC is in the process of making to summarize all of these data.
For Malaysia, we have the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, which is the data we can be public and can access to all. Thank you.
For Cambodia, we also have it produced by Ministry of Planning. Unfortunately, the report is only available after the census. So we have one that produced in 2021. Actually, census produced the report in 2020, and it's then make it as a sectoral report. It's aging report. So they use the data from census, and it is available in English also, and it's from website of UNFPA, or I can also share.
Okay. So is it the raw data or is it the report?
It's the report.
It's a report. Okay, I see. Okay. Yeah. I think this could be a kind of a common ground. We can start to check the other country situation and how the contribution and the challenges go forward with evidence-based. Okay, I will collect some questions and comments from floor. If you have any question or comments, could you raise your hands and introduce yourself and give a comment, please?
Thank you for moderating the session. I think it's very interesting to hear the recommendation and challenges that each country faces. And there's, I think what we can do is, I think, for example, there's a lot of longitudinal data that is being developed by each country. And then some of them can be shared, and then maybe that's why I raised about harmonization, because if we can have a few questions that are parallel to the ASEAN region or Asia Pacific region, then we can do something about comparative analysis and things like that. And also I think the issue of aging is reflecting the development of the aging process in each country. Because from the different perspective that we listen to the presentation, it really touches on the issue on the ground, how the countries are facing. So maybe if we can group together countries that is in transition, the countries that is already aged, for example, like Thailand and Singapore and things like that, and also Vietnam that is coming. So there's a lot more of policies, programs on the ground comparatively to the countries that are just entering aging. So maybe we can do something about grouping the countries to work together so that we can prepare and help prepare each other to face this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. So, I mean, Asian countries are definitely not homogeneous. Like European countries, they're relatively homogeneous, but Asia, very different. So, like clusterings and typologing, typolizing, and then we can research, and then we can kind of learn from each other better, right? That's your idea. I think for that, also we need some of the evidence to cluster the countries. I think that's also important. Yes. Thank you so much for your contribution. Other questions and comments? Yes, please.
I'm interested in the Philippines Office of Senior Citizen Affairs, right? To us, the municipalities are only interested in cutting the grass, clearing the drains, and maybe the rubbish. But maybe can share what the Office of the Senior Citizen Affairs are doing, collecting in Philippines.
Thank you so much. I think that's what our Korean government did about 20 years ago. They were interested in the cutting of grass, and but now they're more interested in the care issue. That's what people are mostly caring about nowadays. So hopefully that's, and also it's not naturally come. I think the civil service organizations and human rights commission's role is, I think, quite important. Do you have any kind of a response about this too? Yes.
Yes. The National Commission for Senior Citizens is a newly created government agency. It was just created way back 2019, I believe. And they are still in the process of getting operational. That is why, as I mentioned a while ago, they are still in the process of collating all the data available from the LG, local government units, through the Office of the Senior Citizens Affairs. Their presence, the presence of the National Commission for Senior Citizens is not really felt on the ground yet. I remember when we were preparing for the 14th session of the open-ended working group, we sent a letter to the NCSC, and they sent one lawyer for the dialogue and collaboration. And I was asking that lawyer, how many are you in the legal division? And he said, I'm the only member of the legal division. So it's still in the process of being operational, and we're hoping that hopefully by next year or in the years to come, they'll be able to perform the mandate by which they were actually created.
네, 저 한국어로 질문을 드리겠습니다.
I will ask in Korean. Could you just hold on?
Translator, please.
네, 오늘 5개 나라의
Anyway, we've heard from 5 countries in terms of social protection systems. It was my first time learning about your systems, so it was very meaningful. My question is, regarding crimes of abuse against elder persons, what's the current trend? What's the occurrence rate? What about the younger generations, their social perception about older persons? What's the current status regarding their perception?
Your presentation, particularly about the old age income security. He questions about old age abuse, harassment, abuse and harassment on the older people. So what's the kind of situations and scope, or what's the kind of a rough definition of abuse and harassment on older people, and what's the kind of frequencies and report about that? So that's the first question. And the second question is about how young people perceive older people and how this perception has been changing, the younger people on older people. I think that traditional value has changed quite a lot in 5 societies. So could you give a short answer for that? Anybody who prepared? Yeah, yeah, please. First question about abuse.
Regarding the abuse, I said it was in my presentation, the kind of abuses experienced with by the elderly, and we get the data usually from the Ministry of Social Affairs. But I think it is not the real figure, because most of the elderly or the family will not report because it is a family matter. But the abuse is still going on. And it was in my report, actually. And the perception about, actually in Indonesia, the culture, the younger generation really honor and respect the elderly. As you can see on television, usually during the Idul Fitri, the end of the fasting month, all the younger generation, whether it's difficult to reach their hometown, they go. So the respect is still there. But there are always exceptions, but in general, the younger generation really respect and honor the elderly. Thank you.
Harassment on older people is normally done by whom?
It can be by children.
By
it
children.
can be by the community.
Community.
Yeah.
as a whole. Okay.
Well, for Cambodia, I think we do not have the kind of report or research on this, but through our experience and observation, we believe that there are a lot of abuse, there are a lot of harassment against the older people. Mostly, it happened unintentionally by the family, by community also. When we organize the event in the older people association, some older people it's not really abuse, but they are seen as very inactive. They cannot contribute. They are not giving a space to speak out what they really want, and the other who have more power, they just interrupt and just follow me. For the perception of younger people in Cambodia, similarly, we are going to organize a kind of focus group around intergenerational, and it's very fit to the question you asked. But from what our experience, we find the perception. We have two, for the older people who are less educated, and older people who are educated, they are perceived differently. So in Cambodia, at some situation, they say, oh, older people are very respectful, they are very resourceful. But in many cases, when we talk about older people, especially among younger people, they see they need care. I mean, see them as inactive. So this is the perception that is happening right now, and sometimes it's also block older people from accessing the service or joining something that are benefit to them. So, thank you.
Thank you for the good question from the participants. In Malaysia, actually, we have a Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development to tackle the issue on abuse, which is there is a welfare officer will send by the ministry to the place that happened maybe in the care center to investigate, and then the standard operating procedure is same like when there is a cases reported on the child abuse. Okay, for the young generation, maybe their interest in this new issue for them is in Malaysia. Actually, we are now doing the ministry under the ministry we have a certificate and diploma in elderly care center operation. So for the certificate, around 3 months to complete, and for diploma maybe more than that. So based on a Sohakam visit to the 2 private care in Sarawak and one more in Pulau Pinang, which is both of them a certificate. Both of these places have young workers who have a certificate on the elderly care center. That's all. Thank you.
Part of the mandate of the Commission on Human Rights of the Philippines is to conduct investigation of human rights violation. And based on our database, there is very low incidence of violation against older person. But this is due to the sad reality that cases are not reported. They are not reported because maybe the perpetrators are members of the family. As to the violence, violence need not be physical. It may be mental, it may be emotional. So maybe members of the family unintentionally they are unintentionally causing this violence, maybe because they really need to, leave the parents, the older persons in their house because they really have to work. As to how do younger individuals perceive older persons, it is, I think, the culture in the Philippines is that we do take good care of our older persons as much as we can. I mean, there are instances wherein children would still take good care of their older persons, and there are very small number of children who would send their older persons to homes for the aged. They would really take good care of the older persons. Thank you.
For Thailand, the violence, I think during the COVID-19, the domestic violence is getting higher. The rate is getting higher because the children and the older persons stay home together because of the quarantine, and maybe they are unintentionally hurt the feeling or something like that to the elderly. And another one is the new challenges that come in the form of cybercrime, because now the older person at risk of frauds, fake news, and call center. And because of the call center, the higher risk of call center, people are losing money. Their all life savings are gone because of the call center. They just, that's why one of our priority is to promote the digital literacy, so we can prevent that from happening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that good answer, right? Okay. Any other questions and comments, please? I think the digital scam is increasingly a problem among the older people. It's every country, right? Yeah. I mean, Korea is quite serious. Yeah. So we have a password between my parents and me. Make sure I'm me, really. So yeah. So 32 is my password, for example. Not really. So yeah. So any other questions and comments? I think digital scam, I think is a really serious issue. Yeah. Yes. Okay. We have about 5 minutes left, but we could finish. I think that's what Pinat 선생님 said to me, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. So green light. So I can close my session, this session. So thank you so much for all the representative and delegate, everybody, and thank you for all the comments and questions. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Choi, and all the participants. Thank you again.